What's up, good people? Welcome back to Four Titles, One Truth. It's your boy Tom.
And I'm Lance. And today we're talking about faith in the ranks, where it supports the mission, where it collides with it, and how service shapes what we believe.
There it is. It's real simple.
Yeah.
Ready?
Yep.
All right, let's get into it.
How did your personal faith or lack of it affect your military career? Did it help, challenge, or conflict with service?
All right, so like I've said a lot, I was raised in Church of God, and we, especially in my early years, I was always in church.
In Sunday school and
Sunday school, you had Thursday service, then you had a Friday night youth thing, and then Sunday start all over again.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was a lot. But one thing that I can absolutely say that I believe in God, right? And I have that in me. Okay. And so going into the military, I had it. What I didn't know, but what I was happy to find out immediately in basic training is that the Army supported, religion. So every Sunday in basic training, you have the opportunity to attend services.
right.
Now, a lot of people used it to just get out of the barracks and see the girls, and but were devout people with the different religions that would go to the church. And when I say different religions at the time, they had Catholic, they had Baptist, Muslim, those the main religions that everybody knows about. So that was something that was a welcome surprise that was kept up. And then, go ahead.
Now, I was gonna say, was the school that you went to, elementary school, was it a Catholic school or just a Christian?
It's a Christian school.
Christian
Yeah,
school. Okay.
Yeah. Yes. So I went to church all them times, and I went to Christian school every day until I was in sixth grade. So there was an understanding of what religion is,
right.
specifically related to me and my family.
Okay.
Then when you're going through your career, every unit's assigned, every battalion and higher on the operational side is assigned a chaplain. And the chaplain's responsibility is to just rotate amongst the units and just have conversations and just be present so that if soldiers need them or leaders need them, then they have access to them. And I'm going to tell you, they're busy, chaplains are.
Right.
And each chaplain does not have to be a certain religion to be assigned to the unit.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So if, for instance, somebody's a Muslim, then they would have direct contact with a Muslim chaplain that may not be assigned
To that
right,
unit. Okay.
yeah, to the unit. But chaplains are trained to not force their religion, but be there to help
Right.
and connect to their religion.
Help guide folks.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so that was another level that I was surprised to see. But I can tell you that one chaplain's not enough because if you think of it, most battalions have, we'll say, at least 1,000 people, give or take. And that one chaplain responsible for trying to fulfill the needs of all those can sometimes just run them ragged.
I bet.
And on the flip side, they also have to deal with losses. They have to deal with the deaths and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So it can be a lot, but salute to the chaplains that put that effort in.
Yeah, I think that's where I would dealt with them more. So in
Losses.
and losses and come speak to the family and things like that. But similar to you,
Hold on. I was just going to say that being able to have those touch points in the military, it helps you. It helps remind you of the religion that I brought in. It helped remind me. So it was. I can honestly say that once I left home, I didn't attend church like I normally did. And the more senior of a leader I became, I was able to build relationships with chaplains and just have real conversations and stuff. And so I will say for me, it was a relief to have chaplains around. It was relief to have access to the religion that you, me specifically in this case, believe in, and also have, like I said, the ability to share that with a chaplain so that you could sort of feel at ease about the religious part of who you are. So that's what I was saying.
Okay. Yeah. But similar. Grew up in well, I went to a Catholic school, so we
Yours was
had
more strict than mine.
we were going to to mass during the week, and then
Were your parents Catholic?
no,
Oh, okay.
no, they're shoot, I don't know what the denomination is, but not
Christian?
non-denominational
Yeah.
Christian.
Gotcha.
Because
Okay.
my grandfather and grandmother were very religious.
Right.
My grandfather was a pastor, deacon,
Oh, really?
all of that
Oh,
stuff. Had
okay.
a church. So growing up, I remember going to my grandfather's church.
Okay.
When I was younger, and going to Sunday school and doing all of those things. And then after I left, went to school and stuff, that tapered off. Still have a faith.
Right.
Still have a belief in God. But not haven't really like the going to church every Sunday.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
because it I guess faith for me, the amount does not the way that I feel. I don't have to go to church every
Right.
Sunday in order to
Right.
still be a good person, to be a man of God, or
Right.
I feel like it's your actions, how you treat others, because I know I'm probably gonna get some crap about this, but
Speak your mind.
a lot of the Bible and all. That was interpreted and written by men.
So many different people.
Yeah, and all of the different versions. When you start talking about King James's version, King James's version was interpreted for
King James.
King James and his people.
Yeah. Europe.
But the stories are what they are, and we can interpret and pull out of
resonate.
there what we need, and because they're all, regardless of what religion you are, they all circle around to the same thing about
Be kind.
be kind, being a good person, doing the right thing.
Right.
But yes, and when I got into the military, the chaplain was in the hospital, and he was there to give folks support.
Was
when
it
they
one per hospital?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Well,
So
depending on the size of the hospital.
Okay.
Because at the bigger hospital, like at BAMPS, at Brooke Army Medical Center, I think it's probably at least 3 there.
Oh wow. Okay.
It's a lot over there.
Right.
I know too, it might be 2 or 3 there, because they also get the I guess the program where the chaplains that are training and going through they come
Course.
yeah.
Mm.
So I know that those guys were there
Okay.
also. So
Okay.
whatever that
Right.
constitutes for them, for a chaplain to be in training or whatever.
Right.
So, but but they would see them there to speak with the families for if somebody died, and just
Yeah.
for staff,
Yeah.
for mental health
Right.
things, so that people could talk to them if they had a difficult patient, any of that stuff. So they were doing a lot of the mental health. My experience with them, they do a lot of mental health.
Right. My religion and faith in religion, leaving home, was tested all the time. And what I mean by that is, when you grow up in a church, you start to see ways that things are done, and that links your mind with how, in my case, Christians should be, pastors should be, and how churches should be.
Right.
Right. And so, and like I've said it before, I was raised in a white church, a white Church of God, and our family was definitely the minority there. I'm talking like in actual services, we were probably one of two families.
Did you feel?
There.
I mean,
No, because that's what I was raised in.
Say.
Yeah, and then Sunday school, I've talked about before as well, is that my mom, my dad, the church period, brought in specifically black kids from the different neighborhoods to attend the church for on Sundays, and so that was we were way less a minority on Sundays than we were on the regular attendance of church. Okay. And so leaving that atmosphere of what examples were in front of me and what I believed a church should be, A, B, C, and D of it, I started going to different churches at different in different cities, depending on where I was stationed. And I tell you what, first off, I immediately learned that not every church is like my home church, which I'm sure everybody does that. But the second part was the older I got, the more I could see the human in churches, right? And that's where you see where there are some pastors that are in it for money.
Yep.
There are some pastors that are in it for women. And there's some pastors that are in it for the what do you call it? The almost to be
prestige.
But almost to be worshipped, you know. And so traveling around in the military for a while, my religion was very tested. And the only thing that sort of corrected my thoughts on it was the senior level relationships I was able to have with some of the chaplains. Yeah. And, you know, you start to learn, or you start to remember parts of the Bible verses you used to remember of how things should be versus how humans are.
Right. I mean, because those guys are human. You know? So,
but I didn't correlate that as a kid, because I thought, you know, if you're touched by God, then you would be the leader of men, the leader of the sheep, which means you're walking a path that has been selected for you because you're the preacher and the head of this church. And then when you start to get older and go into different churches, you're like, what is happening here? You know, but that's my own little personal path it took. So for you, what role did chaplains play in your life and in your career? I know you sort of touched on it.
Yeah.
And then I'll talk about all three aspects of in garrison, during deployments, or just when you or family or soldiers had tough moments.
I think, you know, as far as like in garrison,
and just to let everybody know, garrison is when you're in the United States on a base and you're doing your
stateside
daily job in your unit. That's stateside, or just on a base all over the world.
Yeah.
Deployment is when you're going to combat.
Right.
Okay.
Right. So stateside and garrison, I mean, it was more so a work relationship with them, because it was, you know, we need a chaplain to come, and we need so it was that type of, we would, you know, they would come and we would speak, you know, we'd have conversations with them before they especially come to the OR, you know, because we would, some we would have go back to the OR, some would wait till we came out with patients, and but deployed, it was more so of a, hey, chaplain, you know, just to try to get some reassurance about what we're doing, why we're doing it, you know, how things are going back home, you know, because they would come around to the different sections just to see how folks were, you know. And I worked the night shift the whole time that I was deployed. So, we had a really good chaplain. He would come through during the night shift to see and try to catch all of those folks that were there. So, but just to give that, put your mind at ease and help you to understand what you're. And that's the thing that I appreciate about a lot of the military chaplains that I dealt with is like they never forced any anything on us, or told you that you had to believe in one thing, or tried to make you feel bad if you didn't believe or you disagreed with something, which I absolutely respect that from those guys. But to help you understand what's going on in your mind and figure out and with a little with some guidance, because those guys are good at that. They're absolutely good at that. But then on a personal aspect, when it comes to when we had deaths in the family, our family chaplain, church chaplain, just being there to help support the family, and knowing that whether it was aunt, uncle, my father, that were, especially in the later years, were very, very faithful, very religious, very involved with the church, and just having them there to help navigate that and help me understand,
through the situation,
what was going, why, because a lot of that is like get angry, and it's like, why, and they were there to help keep me on track and help keep me level-headed, at the base. So yes, I did. I have leaned on one as far as in that manner, just to help you to understand. Yeah, help you to understand. It's like because then when you don't go to church every Sunday, or then it's like, did I do? Is somebody trying to get, or why are you getting back at me for this? And then you got somebody else over here that and I try to be a good person, good man, good and you never want to, and I try to not like put the blame on anybody else, but to understand that this is how the stuff happens.
And I would just say that before mental health really became, well, first off, I'd say chaplains in the military are, like Lance said, counselors. They're counselors more than they're religious
leaders,
because they don't, as Lance said, force their religion on you. When they come talk to you, they are talking to you as a counselor, right? And I will say I've met chaplains that weren't really religious. They became a chaplain because of their. There's one chaplain specific. He came in enlisted, and I also should point out that chaplains are officers, and then they have chaplain assistants, which are enlisted, right?
And that's the thing I think that folks, because when you're at home or wherever, and your church, you might have that same chaplain for 30 years, 40 years.
Pastor,
The chaplains in the military were soldiers, so every
2
years, 4 years. They were going to the next
because they have to do the same thing.
Because they were in field units. They were in hospitals, so they dabbled and touched, and they were at their schools. So they did all of the the jobs that that we kind of do in the different areas of serving in the military. So,
and you hit it perfectly. Chaplain in the military is a job. It's a duty, right? So they have to go to a military school to be trained. They have to compete for promotions. They have to check blocks on different assignments and different leadership levels. So it's still a job, right? Then you have those chaplains that are called spiritually. that because they, like I was saying about the one chaplain, that he was not a very religious person. You know, he was just like every other soldier, you know. But in uniform, he was locked in because he was a counselor, and he was there because a chaplain played a pivotal role for him in his life, and that was what led him to become a
becoming a
chaplain. Yeah.
chaplain.
And then you have those that are called by faith,
Mm-hmm.
you know, just like any other pastor, and they take that torch that was presented to them by, you know, their faith, and then they join the military and try to be devout and help, whatever. But so the biggest role a chaplain's played through my eyes and for me is a counselor,
Mm-hmm.
right? They're very they're set up so that you can have a conversation with them and they can help lead you.
Very good
Right?
listeners.
Yes, that's perfect. Yeah, great listener. The second role they play is, like Lance said, is for me specifically, is when traumatic situations happen in your unit. Like I've had soldiers kill themselves in my unit. I've had soldiers die from accidents. Training. So, you know, when you're in that military sphere, the military understands that in a traumatic situation,
Yep.
people tend to bend or lean towards their faith, their religion. And chaplains are there to help with that connection to, you know, whatever your beliefs are. So, in garrison, like I said, they just visit. They, of course, there's some chaplains that are ordained preachers,
Giving
and
services
they
and
actually
things like that.
have churches on the base
Mm-hmm.
that they provide services
Mm-hmm.
for. And the military has, at different times, they have different denominations
Yep.
where you can attend church. And then there are those chaplains that have their own church off of the installation in the civilian world, and they are leaders of that church and so forth and so on. So you have those aspects, but when you're in combat, it's the same thing. Chaplains will establish services, faith services that people can attend on Sundays. They have Bible studies for the denominations that require that or request that.
Mm-hmm.
As I said, Muslims, they have everything that's needed for their religion as well. And chaplains' jobs are increased because in combat, people tend to lean towards religion,
Right.
because, you know, everybody wants to make it home.
Hey, I mean, that's it. Those life or death situations where
Absolutely.
folks are like, okay,
And sometimes you don't have the contact with your family. So, you know, having that contact with the chaplain helps you feel like, you know, you're praying for them and you're connected to God or whatever you believe, and your family's protected as well as you being protected. So the chaplain's role is very busy, and the worst time is when a chaplain has to, they reach a certain level and then they have to go away for a military requirement, and you have a fill-in who can't come to your area of operation. So now you got that chaplain is a fill-in, and now you have to hope that you can catch him during your tough times, because just like any leader, over time you become very personal with the chaplain, and when they are not there and when you need them, then that can cause problems in itself. You know, so, but have I ever leaned on a chaplain? Religion wise, no. Counseling wise, yes, because especially once again, it was another chaplain that when a traumatic event happens, even chaplains sometimes don't focus on the command,
Mm-hmm.
But there was one chaplain that before he started anywhere else, he'd come to the command so he could get an idea of where our heads are, and help us through the moments. And then go directly. And I'm talking like you get a phone call, something happens, and then 5 minutes later the chaplain's on the phone, or you're comes to the office so you can have a conversation, so that A, he can check on the leadership, and B, he can get a broader picture of the type of soldier that was in, that's going through this situation. So chaplains have a huge role.
Yeah, and I hear what you're saying. You said that you never leaned on one religiously,
Right.
but as counseling,
Yeah.
and it's kind of, I think it's kind of like one in the same, because that's their background is religion, so they know how to help lead you spiritually, tell you what you need to
Yeah.
do, lead you in that moral, that that respectable. I mean,
Right.
they're whatever they're telling you, they're
yeah.
telling you in the way
It's
that
in their toolkit.
Yeah,
It's who they are.
I mean,
I
they're
understand what you're saying.
real good people. So check it out. The formation is diverse. We got Christians, we got Muslims, Jews, even got folks that are non-religious.
Right.
So how do good leaders balance space for belief with respect for everyone?
So, the first thing I really believe is you can't judge
Right.
other religions.
Yep.
Right. Because if you start judging other religions, then you're stepping on your soldiers and your formation's opportunity to have that connection with their faith.
And just causing animosity.
Right. That's the first thing. The second thing is you have to become familiar with the different religions that are out there. You can't, I'm not talking about you have to commit to every religion, but you should be familiar. What is a Muslim? What practices do Muslims have? Right. What are some differences between Catholics and Christians? Baptists and so forth. Just try, and that's another good thing about chaplains. Chaplains have that knowledge, and I'll tell you this: if you're a command team or you're a leader, you're in a senior leader position, and you don't have monthly or weekly sit downs, whatever, quarterly sit downs with your chaplain. As a company command team, we did that monthly.
Okay.
And you can balance notes, and then also you can fill each other in on what's going on in your formation.
I would say that they probably hear some stuff that
Absolutely.
command doesn't necessarily get privy to.
Yeah, and then another thing is don't pretend. I know last time we talked I didn't mention this, but don't pretend that you're more into a religion than you actually are. Just be yourself and give space.
Yep.
I think those are the easiest recommendations I can have for you. I have an example of where the leadership didn't give space, and it wasn't the first sergeant. It was actually the daggone platoon sergeant, where soldier I knew a long time ago. She was Muslim, devout Muslim. In her diet and her practices as far as praying as well as fasting and all. But when we were ramping up to deploy, the platoon sergeant kept saying, like, no, we ain't got time for that. We got to do this. No, we ain't got time for that. And then when she was fasting, she was weak. Right. And still demanding those long hours and all that stuff. And she ended up going to IG, the inspector general. And of course she won. Right. It was an easy win, but just don't do that. Just don't do that. Allow people, even if you're not a religious person, you should still allow grace so that people who are in that lifestyle can have that connection, because it'll only make them stronger.
Yep. I mean, to give them more, give them more strength.
Yeah.
For me, it's I guess the one thing is that I learned is not trying to push my beliefs, religious beliefs onto someone else, or trying to make someone else not feel comfortable about their, their religion, or trying to talk down to it. I should say, and I mean, you hit it on the head where it's like, we need to try to understand, and the person to help us to understand some of the differences and some of the likenesses and what's real and what's not real is that chaplain. So I mean, that's absolutely lean on him or her if
That's what they're there
something
for.
comes up. Yeah, I mean, and they'd be more than happy to give you that assistance and to help out. So yeah.
And like, for instance, there was a time I was drill sergeant, and the one of the soldiers I had, basic trainee, was a Wiccan, but at the same time, she was at a what do you call it, a priestess level. And
See, I would never, man.
Yeah.
So that was wow.
Yeah, this was 2006, 7.
Wow.
Yeah, and the Army recognized Wiccan.
Yeah, that's wow.
There was no, in our area, I'm not sure if it was an Army-wide, but there were no Wiccan chaplains. But there were chaplains who were trying to get knowledge of it, working knowledge of it. But so I didn't have a source to go to.
Okay.
Remember, Google was very different back then.
Mr.
The
Google
iPhone
man.
just came out, but what I did was, when I had a conversation with because I was just drill sergeant, was interested, right? And so in this religion, like, what is it? And then that's where I found out that their religion is focused with nature.
See, I mean, and that's good that you even asked, and not like letting these witches.
And there was a lot of people that had that, and there were even drill sergeants that were escorting soldiers to the wood line so that they could do that, but they were out there giving them countdowns and hurrying them up, And like I said, whether you believe in it or not, if it's recognized and you're giving your soldiers in your formation time to practice that moment, then be respectful.
Yep.
I mean, just imagine if somebody was doing it to the religion you believe in or was
5,
raised up
4,
in.
3, 2.
Yeah. So that's just ridiculous, So, but let me ask you. We'll talk about faith in combat, right? Did faith give you strength in combat or morally complex situations?
Oh yeah.
Or did it raise tough questions you had to wrestle with later?
No, it did. I mean, because it helped, especially in combat. I mean, it just helped to give you reassurance. Yeah.
Comfort.
For the situation. Yeah, comfort in the situation that you are. I mean, situation that you are in. And then depending on where you are in your career, and if you're leading folks, or if so it's one of those things where it's like, okay, I gotta try to, because they always say you gotta be strong, you gotta try to set the example. So you
can't show weakness.
Yeah, so trying to stay strong, not show a kink, so that we can continue on with our mission and be strong with that. Faith played a big role in that, just to keep me so that I wouldn't crack and want to break down and run away or not do anything, so just just helps with the encouragement of others. So because I feel like if others see you going, it's like, okay, or if you can give them a good word, or get them pick them up, or it just, I mean, and even like, especially in my situation where I'm dealing with patients and injuries and folks coming in that were coherent, that weren't knocked out, or sleep already. It's like, hey, we're gonna pray for you right here, brother. Come, whatever it is, and people, regardless of their religion, I think if somebody hears you tell them and say, hey, we're gonna say a prayer for you real quick. I mean,
especially if they're knocking on the door.
So,
it's amazing how many people find religion.
Yeah, man. So I mean, so absolutely, man. And then just having the chaplain there to help, keep me like I said earlier, keep me encouraged and keep me not losing faith. Where it's like, why are we doing this? Why us? Why do we have to do this? Why do we have to be here? Why are these people dying? Why, that to help people understand.
Get you through it.
And just keep my moral compass straight and on the straight and narrow. So, yeah.
So for me, I would say that I was very aware of not pretending to be something more than I was. Mm-hmm. So if I didn't talk about church and attend church when I was not in combat, I was the same way in combat, because I didn't want to, because soldiers watch you.
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna be who you
Exactly.
are. I never was in my career or even now. I mean, let's bless the Lord. Yeah. But I hope by my actions that people is like, okay,
there's something
does
there.
have some, and if someone asks me, I say, oh yeah, this is what I believe in.
Yeah, and like just the job is not the place to be the Reverend of the month. You know what I'm saying? So, but in combat, a lot of people find religion in combat because a lot of people begin to understand that you may not come home from this. No. And so this is, I'm not making fun, but I'm just saying it's amazing how many people start going to church and carrying the Bible when you've known them their whole time, and then you never see.
But it's just like when you back stateside here now, it's like Easter.
Yeah.
Was it Christmas?
The first one through the door.
You see all of these folks.
Yeah.
And pouring in the church.
And we had talked about it as a leader. You just don't judge. You just give space. So, I have never leaned, and you mentioned that I've never leaned on a chaplain for religious, focused guidance or counseling. Anytime I've ever had real talk with a chaplain, it was either about a situation,
right,
or it was just me working through my problems. And saying, hey, you got a minute, and then just sitting down and talking. And chaplains, you've said before, they have a great ear, and most of them have that energy. To where you feel like, okay, let's go. If we're gonna talk, let's talk. But and I don't mean to come off as if I was never scared or nervous in combat. Mm-hmm. It was just like you've said before, the religion I have is in me. The faith I have is in me, and I have conversations, in my head and questions and doubts and beliefs or whatever in my head. So that's how I work my religion, because I don't go to church a lot, as I said before, but I do believe in God, and I do believe there's two things I believe. One, God is there, and the other one is He set it up for you so that you can work to achieve it, right. And so that's where that's where my faith has always been based.
Okay, I like that. Mm-hmm. I like it. So after retirement, did your relationship with faith grow, fade, or change shape? And what's different when the uniform came off?
It's the same. Like I said, it wasn't very.
Get more religious or less religious?
It didn't change in my faith or belief. Mm-hmm. I will say, whenever I go home, it's expected for me to go to church on Sunday.
That's the same. I mean, when I go home, I go to go to church with my mom, and when my dad was, I would go to church with them. But I felt comfortable. I mean, I feel super comfortable
Yeah.
going to church
Yeah.
with them, and maybe that's something that I have a problem with now is like
It's like
not
I
going to
said,
church
yeah.
because I feel like getting judged by,
Yeah.
you know, if you don't come
Yeah.
the next Sunday, then they're going to
And
say,
starting
well,
over.
yeah. So,
new,
I mean, it's,
it's a whole thing. So, but I will say that Nikki and I, we do discuss it. We have gone to church together. We're talking post-retirement, not a lot. But, you know, we pray. We believe. But, you know, like I said, I just really believe that it's in me. That's
right.
the
Yeah, I
best
mean,
way to say it. Yeah, that's the only way I can say it.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's same situation for me. I mean, it's like I said, I'm not when I go home,
Yeah.
go to, going to church when I'm,
Make sure you pack something that's presentable.
yeah. Well, that's the thing too. Is like I didn't have to be GQ'd up
Yeah, I
or
know.
anything,
I
to go
know.
to. I
Yeah.
mean, it was
Yeah.
business casual, So it was
Yeah.
it was
It's
nice. So I mean,
yeah.
it's a but I feel like it's in me, and I feel like I project that. It's a good person, got good moral standards, good values. So, and that's just the way that I see it and portray it and interpret it for myself. So
The way I was raised in church and the Bible I've read, it does throw me off when a lot of people wear that badge of Christianity or super religious person, and all you have to do is step back and watch them for about 5 minutes, and you're like, you sure?
yeah, or they try to go back. I mean, say, well, I'm letting to explain some of the situations and
Yeah.
thing. That it's just it's. Sometimes it's used as a weapon
Absolutely.
and not as what it
Or,
is intended to be used for.
or a badge of honor or whatever. Yeah. So, but once again, I really try not to judge people on whatever religion they have, because who am I? You know what I'm saying? I've just sat here and told you that I'm not a super devout. But anyway, but I will say this: faith can steady people and soldiers.
Absolutely.
It's just fact.
Yep.
But like we talked about, leaders have to protect that space for everyone, no matter what the denomination is, so that they can serve with dignity, whether they believe in and have faith in a religion or not.
Yep. So true.
Protect
the goal isn't to agree on doctrine.
Yeah.
It's to agree on respect.
Yes.
Mission first, people always, and room for conscience.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And thank you once again for joining us for this episode of Four Titles, One Truth.
Now we want to hear from you. Does religion belong in the military? Why or why not? And where's the line?
And I can answer that now. I believe religion should be available in the military,
Yes, it should.
because it only strengthens the soldiers.
Yep.
Check in with us on social media platforms at Four Titles, One Truth. Or you can watch us on YouTube at Four Titles, One Truth.
And join us next time so that we can keep the conversation going, y'all. All right?
All right, hand point.
All right.
Holla.
Let's keep it going.